Every time you deploy a Rise app, you also deploy a NoSQL database. So in this video, we're going to take a look at what is available to your functions and how to interact with that database. So we've got three things coming in. We got an input, which is basically what you define in your query mutation. You got a utility object, basically a bunch of methods that are associated with a Rise app. So this includes database methods. And here we got a user object. So we'll look at that in a future video. Now let's take a look at what we can do here. I'm just going to make a rise.db.create. So we got create, remove, query, and get. And I'm just going to rename this event so that we can read this a little bit better. So we got event.input. Input corresponds to this because we're talking about the submit mutation here. Input corresponds to what we've defined here. And if we look at the submit input, I'm defining it as note. So let's take a look at what we're doing here. I'm just going to change this to 100 for now. PK and SK, this is how we're keying the item. So I'm going to say note and then note underscore 100. And then whatever I bring in, I'm going to set that as the note. And I'm returning these hard-coded values. We may as well return what we're doing here. So let's go ahead and deploy that. Okay, let's check that out. So I'm in my dashboard here. Let's go ahead and make this submission. Great, we got our PK and SK coming back. We made a note called hello there. Let's go to our database tab and we can see that we made a note and here it is. Now, the problem with this is that if I make another note, I'm just going to overwrite the original note over and over again because PK and SK is how I'm keying it. And so if you're wondering what is the sort of strategy here, we're using a single table design strategy. It's really common in DynamoDB. So we're leaning hard into that. That's something that we really sort of commit and want to embrace in Rise applications. And so in this scenario, because I've hard-coded the ID, I'm just overwriting it over and over again. So at this point, this is where you might want to sort of reach for an NPM module like UUID. But we want to try to give you everything you need so that it's possible to make applications without node modules. That's not going to be possible all the time, but if we can make that a possibility some of the time, that's great. And so what we can do is change that with @ID. And so this is a keyword, and we're just going to replace that with a unique ID. And this is something you're going to commonly do quite a bit. And so now let's go ahead and do the same operation. And look at database. Now that has been replaced with a unique ID. If I go ahead and do it again, it's not going to overwrite it. It's going to make a brand new item because it's always going to be unique. So this is a great start.